Ukraine crisis, Russia has been ramping up its military operation in eastern Ukraine. The Russian military has confirmed having captured the town of Lyman in Donetsk. It has also surrounded the urban center of Donetsk in Luhansk. Kyiv says it's doing what it can to defend the Donbas region. The U.S. plans to send more weapons to Ukraine. Philip Crowther from the Associated Press has more details.
Have been small Russian gains in the Donbas region. That has been the case again. The Ukrainian military now saying that the main goal for the Russian army appears to be to encircle Ukrainian troops in the towns of Lysychansk and Severodonetsk. Those are the two towns that are still under Ukrainian control in the region of Luhansk. Luhansk and Donetsk, of course, that make up the Donbas region in eastern Ukraine. There is one town in the Donetsk region, Lyman, that Ukraine now acknowledges is in Russian hands. So the advances are continuing. Ukraine still says, and this comes from the words of the Ukrainian president, from the rest of the government, from the armed forces as well, that Ukraine could fight back against Russia, could actually mount counteroffensives, but only if it has the right weapons. And Ukraine is calling for advanced rocket systems, MLRS. These are multiple launch rocket systems that Ukraine wants to get from the United States. There are reports in US media that the Biden administration is about to decide that those weapon systems will indeed be sent to Ukraine, but will they be here in time for some significant counteroffensives in the Donbas region? That is still remains to be seen. Meanwhile, there have been developments on the diplomatic front, or rather there has been talk about the diplomatic front, because there are no talks right now between Russia and Ukraine. There has, though, been an encouragement, if you will, from the French President Macron and the German Chancellor Scholz. When they spoke to the Russian President Vladimir Putin, they encouraged him to have direct talks with Volodymyr Zelensky. The Ukrainian president has spoken in an interview with the Dutch channel NOS, where he was asked what actually victory would look like for Ukraine. He says it would be Ukraine getting back all of its territory the way it had it before 2014. That includes the Crimean Peninsula, that includes the whole of the Donbas region, and a partial victory, or at least something that would be just about good enough for Ukraine, well, that would be going back to the borders of 2014. We've also heard, by the way, from one of the main presidential advisors to Zelensky, who was part of negotiations with Russia until a few weeks ago. He says that any negotiations that are happening right now, in his words, will only happen on the front lines. Philip Crowther, Associated Press for CGTN in Lviv, Ukraine.